Ancient Egypt, a land of pharaohs, pyramids, and gods. But beneath its glory lies a hidden world, a world of forbidden rituals, sexual taboos, and shocking practices that history rarely dares to mention. What if I told you that behind Egypt's greatness were sexual rituals so bizarre and scandalous that they challenge everything we thought we knew about morality, religion, and desire? Tonight, we uncover the forbidden sexual rituals of ancient Egypt that were hidden for thousands of years. And what you're about to hear will leave you questioning the very foundations of civilization. To understand these rituals, we must first understand the Egyptian mind. Around 3100 BC, Egypt became one of the most advanced civilizations on Earth. For them, sexuality wasn't just pleasure, it was sacred. Creation itself, they believed, was born from sexual energy. The gods created life through erotic power, and humans were expected to mirror the gods. What was normal to them may feel shocking to us today. One of the strangest practices was the Pharaohs' public masturbation ritual. According to records, the pharaoh, seen as the living god, would perform a ritual act during festivals. He would spill his seed into the Nile River, symbolizing creation. The Egyptians believed the river's life-giving flood was linked to this act. Refusing to do it was seen as a weakness. For them, this wasn't obscene. It was survival. Egyptian mythology was filled with incest. Isis married her brother Osiris, and their son Horus was born from this sacred union. To imitate the gods, many pharaohs married their own sisters or daughters. They believed this kept divine blood pure. But behind closed doors, these unions were not always symbolic. Some evidence suggests that real sexual relationships took place to fulfill this divine expectation. For the Egyptians, morality was not about right or wrong. It was about maintaining cosmic order. Another shocking tradition was the Festival of Drunkenness, dedicated to the goddess Hathor. During this event, thousands of people gathered to drink, dance, and surrender to wild passion. Orgies were common, and sexual acts with strangers were seen as a way of honoring the goddess of love and fertility. What sounds like chaos to us was, to them, divine connection. These were not secret celebrations. They were state-sponsored and blessed by priests. Temples were not only places of prayer, but also of sacred sexuality. Fertility priests and priestesses sometimes engaged in ritual intercourse with worshippers. These acts were meant to channel the god's power. Some believed temple prostitution existed as part of this system. To outsiders, it might look like indulgence. But for Egyptians, it was spiritual duty. But not all rituals were about fertility and joy. Some were deeply disturbing. Ancient whispers suggest that embalmers, those who prepared bodies for mummification, sometimes had sexual contact with corpses, particularly with women. The belief was that such acts could prevent the spirit from becoming vengeful. Though debated, these tales reveal a darker side of Egypt's obsession with sexuality and the afterlife. Most of what we know comes from fragments, papyrus texts, carvings, and accounts by Greek historians like Herodotus. Some artifacts discovered were considered so explicit that early archaeologists hid them away. Even today, certain museums keep collections of erotic Egyptian art locked from public view. The truth of their sexual rituals remains partly hidden, buried under layers of secrecy. These practices may shock us today, but for Egyptians they were sacred. Sexual energy was life itself. By honoring it, they believed they maintained the balance of the universe. Over time, as new religions and cultures rose, these rituals were suppressed, condemned, and forgotten. Yet their legacy remains carved into stone, waiting for us to rediscover. So, what do we make of it all? Pharaohs spilling seed into the Nile, incestuous unions mirroring the gods. Wild festivals of drunken passion, fertility priests, and whispers of necrophilia. Were these simply primitive acts? Or did the Egyptians understand something deeper about sexuality, creation, and power? One thing is certain. Behind the pyramids and temples, behind the glory of Egypt's civilization, lies a hidden world of forbidden sexual rituals. A world that shocks our morals, fascinates our minds, and reminds us that even the greatest empires were built not only on stone and blood, but also on desire.